Hello! So to begin, I just want to say that this video is meant for the newish player, alright? Someone who wants a refresher because they haven't played the game that much, or some rapid fire answers on a bunch of different questions you might have had. And when I mean new player, I don't mean someone who just got the game for 1.0. I mean, you could have less than 200 hours and still be considered a new player. I mean, if you don't believe me, play the game and... But anyway, the whole point of this video is to kind of give some answers I have to a lot of questions that get asked over and over again. And I always like to help people by, giving them those answers. So we're going to do this like rapid style. So, feel free to keep up. So first things first, we're going to go into our settings where you can manage your session. So you can change it from single player and actually use your IP, Steam, or Epic if you want to actually get people into your game. And you can manage those players in there. It's really simple. Feedback gives you the QA site, automatically loads it for you. You could see that if I didn't have this just set up like that. Options. This is where it gets cool. Gameplay options allow you to change the creature hostility. So you can make it so they only attack you if you attack them. They're always docile and stuff like that. You can change your autosave intervals. Not to mention you can change all your video settings, but most of that stuff everybody goes into normally. Though I would recommend going into controls, and there is auto release sprint, hold to sprint. Those two right there, if you want to just press the button and always constantly sprint, those are the ones you want to turn off. Definitely good. Key binding. This is very important. Sample building. This is the eyedropper tool. So if you're actually in here and you set this up properly, you can press the middle mouse button and you can copy whatever your item you want to be able to build it. Well, you can change that to maybe like the side of your mouse. Or you want to change dismantle to the side of your mouse so you know what you're highlighting so you can press the eyedropper tool. Yeah, that's what I do. Helps tremendously. By the way, there's so much on the key binding that you can actually change up, but yeah, good luck with that. User interface. You can actually take away different things, like, the stuff in the upper right-hand corner if you don't want to see it, but you can edit the hologram colors. Like, I have mine changed to green, yellow, red, and blue. So that way, when I'm messing around with things, I can have yellow for dismantle, green for building, red for no, and of course blue for it'll look stupid, but do it. Now if you want, you can turn on things like advanced game settings, though you have to do that from the main menu, and this allows you to turn on no build cost, God mode, and flight mode if you want to fly around and do a whole bunch of things, which I'm only doing in this video just to showcase these. This is not a standard one that I have on here, but you also can turn on no power, unlock everything, and all the alternate recipes in case you just want to have a creative playthrough. And creatures, disable arachnid creatures altogether. So if you can't stand cats or arachnids, get rid of them. You can also change your progression to whatever one you want, unlock all the tiers, unlock all the MAM, and unlock everything in the Awesome Shop. Yeah, didn't know there was so much in the settings, did ya? I know, right? It's crazy. Now for regular stuff, I mean, if you hold control while you're looking on the ground, you can snap to a world grid if you want everything to be the same height and you want everything to be uniform. So if you're connected from A to B, it's all set. Next up, you can look at the node and actually figure out what the purity of the node is. If you see on the far right, it says pure. This is also could be done if you scan any resource and press M to look at the map. Once you have the map unlocked, you can hover over it and it'll tell you what rarity each resource is. So if you want to see what would it looking like without going all the way over there, you can do it. Be careful though, there are some temporary ones, like right here, that got moved around and are just kind of like they're there but they're not there. You can kind of see it, yeah, right down there. So those are just temporary ones. They'll get gone eventually, maybe, why not? Next up, when building, hold control aiming at any one of the sides, and what you can do is you can easily have the thing snap over to it without having to just kind of wheel over it. You can also press H button, and this holds it in place. So if you want to look around and see if you got it perfectly, and if you do not have it perfectly, use the arrow keys to nudge it in directions. So I'm pressing the right button, the left button, right button, but when I look at the other side, if I press the right and left button, it moves it from side to side this way. Really fun to do. Also, if you're building anything, you see there's a build mode. You can press R to switch from build modes. You can hold R and check out the build modes. This works on a lot of different things, like pipes have 4 different things, whereas belts only have 2 of them. But then you can build foundations, which also have 3, and then you can build, oh, I gotta go in there. You can also build walls, which also have 2. So mess around with the build modes and see which one you like for what occasion. If you're ready to build some awesome displays, but you don't want the basic colors going with it, press X. This opens up your customizer. This first swatch right here, this is the swatch that you start off with originally, but it's not for everything. See how there's one for project assembly, one for foundations, so the original foundation color, concrete structures, and of course pipes. But if you wanted to, you could just right-click any one of the other ones and choose which one you want. So if I want to build a bunch of pipes that are going to have a Caterium finish, what I can do is I can press and right-click that, get the one that I want, and then voila! It's gold! Also, amazingly enough in the color swatches, if you change this, any one that is located on this will also change color. That includes every one of these main swatches 1 through 18. The only one that doesn't do it is your custom swatch. Your custom swatch, you can actually change this color and it won't affect a dang thing. But here's the best part. If you change it to a different color and then just click something, all right, it's now separate. It's on its own color. It has nothing to do with anything else. It never gets changed. It never gets done. But you can choose whatever group of colors you want, and you don't have to worry about just 18 different swatches down here. Now, in the customizer, you can also choose materials. So if I wanted to switch these over to some concrete ones, I can easily do that. Unfortunately, it does change the color basis that's on there. So it just goes to one simple one, and it doesn't really affect whichever one you had on there. But if you want to go over here, you can right-click and then say, I want everything to be gold right at the moment, and then go to materials, and we'll try asphalt. And now I have gold asphalt, which is kind of weird, but it can also be really cool at the same way. One more thing to note about custom swatches and whatnot, you can actually go and press a number, like let's say I press 7, and hooray! Now the custom swatch is down there. Now every time I press 7, I can actually color things to whatever I want. It's not really bad. This also works as materials, I believe. Let's see. Yep. So now if I wanted to, I can press the materials and change those. So I'll go right here and then press 7 and I can color it, and voila. I am being so efficient, even though that's really hard to use all those different numbers. This also works with blueprints as well. You can actually put your blueprints in your hotbar and utilize them. And you can also utilize your wonderful things. So like, let's say I want finger guns. There we go. Now every time I press 0, I can... I'm playing the drums, ma! Next up is patterns. They suck. Let's continue. Next up is a quick demonstration on conveyor belts. This right here, this is a manifold. Everything goes down one central layer and then just keeps getting split off. Now the problem with this is a bunch of stuff will get split off at this first one, and then less here, and less here. So the first one has to get filled up completely if you're using the exact amount you're going in. And with higher numbers, this is a lot easier. Like say an ingot that's producing at like 60 or 40 or whatever you have per minute. But when you get into issues where you're only making like 10 per minute, this is going to suck. Now this, on the other hand, this is a perfect split, where you have it coming over here, and then splits in half, and each one splits in half, bam. Now these are really great for when you're doing everything with power. So if you want it to run efficiently, like say a coal generator, you're going to want to use something like this. This is one of my favorites. This is what I like to use. It's called a hybrid mode. So you have this one that's pulling a bunch of stuff off there. But say you want to split off into 2 lovely refineries. Well, each refinery takes 30 per minute, so you have one belt that's 60, goes in here, and splits off to a 30-30. This comes off, blah, blah, blah. So what it does is, because there's such a low amount on the belt, this belt will get filled up with 60, and then the rest will be pushed through. So this is really good if you have something where it's really easy small numbers. And then, of course, the lovely sushi belt. This is where you have multiple things coming into one thing. It gets put on a really fast belt, and then you have a smart splitter or a programmable splitter that pushes off exactly what you need when you need it, leaving the rest to go on a giant belt to the end of time. Now for pipes. Pipes are omnidirectional. That's right. Water will go everywhere. See this thing? It's not a splitter. It's not a merger. It's both. It could go in two sides, out two sides. It could go in three sides, go out one side. It doesn't really matter. And because of that, you could do amazing things like what's set up over here. See, this is a 300 pipe, which means it can only hold 300 per minute. This makes 120. This makes 120. And this makes 120, making 360. So I get people asking me, how does 360 fit in a 300 pipe? Well, little Timmy, it's very simple. See, because each one is on its own separate thing, by the time they would all accumulate together, it would be right here. Now, if I was having it all coming right there and going out right here to a different area, that would be a problem. But because they're coming in 3 different areas, and then they get pulled by these consumers, then this 120, 45 goes away from there, another 45 there, and by the time it gets into here, it's a shell of its former self. Speaking of pipes, let's talk about a quick thing about headlift as well as, yes, fluid dynamics. Now, this one's specifically for Tikkawa, but, you guys don't know about that. But here's the thing. Now, I could switch this over to horizontal, so when I click this, it's going to go perfectly down like that. And then I have this one, it's going to connect right over to here, and then I'll have this one over here. Now, fluid dynamics basically says that the lowest point is the one that's going to get water first. So this will give it water here. Now, in order for this thing to go up this little bend right here, it's going to have to fill it up and then come over. This one, on the other hand, is going to go straight down there. It's not going to care about that one. So this side is going to get filled up, and this side, not so much. And then, if it's too high, it has to wait for the whole pipe to get filled over before it pushes it over. And that does not guarantee that there'll be any flow rate whatsoever. So basically, this gets up to this little sliver over here and can't push it over because it's over 10 meters tall. Why 10 meters? Because this has a head lift of 10 meters. It's in here? No. I think it's under production. So if we go under production, water extractor, head lift, 10 meters. Most things that actually produce liquids give a 10-meter head lift. But chaos, how do I know what 10 meters is? Well, this is 2 meters tall, and if I go vertical, I go down there. That right there, that is 10 meters. And this goes into the next thing, which is head lift. Head lift is the vertical height of a pipe. So, for example, let's bring you over here. Okay, gimme. So, my little pipe is going to go from there to there. That has a head lift of 0. Very simple. Nothing crazy. So, we'll add these right here. And then, let's go vertical up 5. Now, we'll bring you up here. Now you have a head lift of 10. That's special. You're great. Now let's put another pipe right over here and to go right there. Perfect. Now we're going to take this and we're going to zoop it a little ways away. Now if I take this and let's just put it to auto and we'll bring it all the way over here and we'll delete all this stuff so we don't have clipping. Hooray! So this looks like it's really far away. But because it's vertically the same height as this one, it has the same head lift. Which means if I give them both water, so we'll put you right here, we'll connect you right here, we'll connect you right here, and then just get rid of that for right now. Connect you. So now each one of them will get water up at the top. So let's give you a little ways. Give you little ways, and this should help demonstrate head lift. Now, the reason I'm taking so long in head lift is because it's very important when it comes to fluid dynamics. So this one right here is now trying to fill up this whole thing before it gets to here. This one right here is now trying to fill up this whole thing before it gets up to here. But we might get lucky, and they might just be able to fill up at the exact same time. And wait for it. Oh, there's one. Probably because it's a smaller pipe and can hold less. And there's the other one. As you can see, 10 meters, just fine. Best part, we're going to take this and we're going to delete this. And we'll go up this one. That'll give it an extra 2. So we'll put you over here. We'll get you over. And we'll get you over here. Now the pressure of the water is actually putting it up just a little bit higher. But as you can see, there's that little air gap in the top that's basically saying no bueno. So this says there's water, but there isn't water. It's fake. It's not real. For that, you're going to need something like a pump. The Pipeline Mark 1 is really great because this goes up 20 meters, and then the Mark 2 goes up 50 meters for only double the power, which is really interesting. Also, you can place these on the ground. So imagine if you place this on the ground, and then you increase this pipe from here 50 meters up if you want to be really accurate about it. Now, if you put it on the wall, which you can, or the side of a foundation, the real question is, where exactly is it going to go up? Is it going to be on the bottom? Is it going to be on the top? Somewhere in the middle? If you said somewhere in the middle, you're absolutely right. See where you're aiming? That's where it's going to be. So you want to know where you're aiming to figure out where it's going to go. Not too bad. Also, it's really nice because what you can do is we're going to vertically go up, and then we're going to wait for that to build, and then we're going to go vertically up again. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of this. And we're going to put you... Ah, there we go. That looks legit. And then all I have to do is take this and connect it to the pipe. Now, when I click once, I can use my scrolling wheel to rotate again. Or what I can do is I can just use my scrolling wheel to go up or down. So if I hold it, I can rotate it, make it look good. But as you can see, it points a little like pulsating thing that goes up there that shows you how far it goes up. So let's say you can only get this high. Now you can get all the way up to here. Here's a good tip for you. Don't put it there. Put it a little bit lower so that it makes sure it goes up, because it's difficult for it to get all the way up to the very top. There's kind of like an error room, and you don't want to deal with that. Next up, let's go over a little bit of power. I have a cable right here. I can connect from my cable, and I can put down a power line. Then I can connect that to there. I say when it comes to power, there's a rule of 2. Only connect 2 things to a Mark 1, and that way you have room for an output and an input. And you'll always have 2. Also, good thing to note is you can grab one of these, aim it at the wire, and you can connect another one. You can do the same thing with the power pole as well. And voila, you can stretch, move things around. Let's say you put this in the wrong spot. All you have to do is get another power pole like that and then delete it. And then you don't have to worry about it. You'll have it in there while it's connected to something else. You can also create a power tower. This thing is lovely and huge and massive and comes in 2 different types. This one has a platform, so you can use the zip line to actually get across. But if you want to use it, there is power lines. If you aim at the top, you'll see 0 out of 3. If you aim in the middle, you'll see 0 out of 4. 0 out of 4 means it's a regular power pole. 0 out of 3 means it's a power line. And no, this is not just because I'm in like creative whatnot. You can actually aim pretty far with this thing. And there you go. That's how far you can build something. It's pretty insane. You can just fly right down there with a zip line. Speaking of zipline and other really cool stuff, your MAM is your best friend. Now, if I go over here, this is my equipment workshop. I have the ability to make basically all this wonderful stuff. Where did I get the ability? In the MAM. No, not the Awesome Shop, the MAM. This allows me to get a whole bunch of different stuff. So, to unlock the ability to see what it takes to unlock it, you have to find something in the world. Alien. Kill an alien, find it. Alien technology. Find some Samor, find a Sommer Sloop, or a Mercer Sphere. I have to pronounce that, otherwise people get uppity. Then Caterium. Find a Caterium node or a chunk of Caterium. Mycelia, which is basically a fungus. Normally located in the cave if you want to see it. Look for something glowing and blue. Nutrition, find some nuts. You bind some barrel nuts and you'll be good to go. Power slug for that one. Quartz crystal, the pink rock. And sulfur, if you like explosives. This early will allow you to unlock a ton of different things you're allowed to use, including what I'm wearing. Oh, I'm not wearing them right now? Well, we're going to have to change that. So if I go into advanced game settings, because, you know, I'm playing creative mode, I can type in here and I can get the Blade Runners. Gimme, 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 gimme. Equipping the Blade Runners to your legs lets you run much faster. And then when you fall, you're okay. Not from any height, though. You could fall from a really high height and still hurt yourself, but the Blade Runners does mitigate it. Alright, say hello to the awesome sink. You get this very early on. You can use it to dump a bunch of resources you find along the map, as well as stuff that you're creating, like, here's a key one for you. Space elevator parts that you have extra. You can just toss them in here and you can get points for it. When you get enough points, you hit the print coupons, you get coupons, and there you go. Also, really cool thing, you can throw a single coupon in here. Whee! And it goes down. Oh, sorry, it's very slow. And it goes down and it goes in there. It can burn up as fast as this stupid conveyor belt goes. And there you go. Doing something like that.
Sees what you did there. How
yep, I will let you guys actually hear that on your own time. But basically allows you to have the Cyber Wagon, which now becomes available in the Awesome Shop. Awesome Shop has a dark mode, by the way, so you're not blinded by the light. And there you go. You can purchase a Cyber Wagon, which is amazing. Also, you can purchase a bunch of different cool things in here. So feel free to check it out. They've even included a hard drive. That's amazing. Do you not want to get the hard drives that are across the map? Well, now you don't have to. Speaking of hard drives, this right here, this is a drop pod. Yep. Whoa. Yeah, if you come in here too, and these are the enemies that are surrounded by the drop pod. So, this is a drop pod. It is one of these freighters that actually gets tossed in here, and it asks you for specific things. This one isn't asking for anything, so all you have to do is pull the handle and grab yourself a hard drive. Yep. That's right. Ada will tell you a whole bunch of different things, like go put it in the MAM, and once you put it in the MAM, 10 minutes later, you'll be able to unlock a specific recipe, plus another specific recipe, or re-roll 2 new recipes if you'd like, and you can throw multiple hard drives in at the same time. So if you want a bunch of different hard drives available, go for it, especially if you're looking for a specific recipe. But here's a nice thing around here. The drop pod areas have all this wonderful treasure that is just located around here. So you can give some heavy modular frames early on, or even some motors, and all sorts of different goodies surrounded by the map. All you got to do is look for a drop pod. Now, another thing early on in the game, you want to get yourself a object scanner. Isn't this thing amazing? Nope. I've never used this before in my life until update 1, because it allows you to choose and look at different things you find across the map. Like you can cancel it, you can search for enemies, Mercer spheres. Hey, there's one right over there. The way it works is, if I look in the general direction, I will get a signal. If I look away, the signal will go away. And as I get closer and closer and closer, it tells me that I'm heading the right direction. But if I start going this way, I'll be like, oh, nope, you're going the wrong way. And you got to keep looking around until you get the signal. And then once you get really close, it gets really loud. But I don't know why it's beeping when I'm looking right at the thing, but that's beside the point. Now, once you find items, you can actually throw them in the MAM, and that'll give you the ability to unlock specific things, such as being able to scan stuff. My favorite is the hard drives. Very hard to find. But if you come through the quartz tree and go all the way down, this bottom one right here allows you to scan for hard drives. So that wonderful thing right here, hold the left mouse button, you can look for hard drives. And when you get this thing, you're not even close. Basically, think of it like this. If you see it on there, if you like, you don't see that thing. If you don't see this, then you're close enough that one might be near. You just have to figure it out by looking over and seeing where the general direction is. All right, I'm gonna leave you with the best tip in the game at the very end. This right here, this is a paleberry. You can pick it up, you can put it in your hand, and you can even eat it if you want. Yum, yum, yum. And this little guy right up here, this is a lizard doggo. And they're literally skittish, so if you just run at them all crazy like, they run away and don't let you pet them or anything like that. So you kind of have to, you know, ease off of them and let them come to you. But the best thing about it is, if you have a paleberry, you can grab the paleberry, drop it out of your inventory, and they will come to the paleberry. And then you can just pet them. But I recommend standing still when they come towards the paleberry, otherwise they'll be scared away. Let's see if we can catch this guy. Okay, there he is. He doesn't notice me. Let me drop the paleberry out. And as you can see, he starts walking towards the paleberry. And if I stand perfectly still, he'll eat the paleberry. And I can pet him. And now I can name him. And he'll be my best friend forever. Who's a good little boy. And here's the best part. I dropped a whole stack of paleberries. He will only eat the ones that he wants. Not all of them. So you don't have to worry about dropping off too many. But here's the best part. After a while, this little guy will go and find things, and what will happen is you'll find random things in his inventory, and you can just grab them and take them out. The best part about it is he has a huge pool of different things that he can choose from, including, but not limited to, slugs. So all those wonderful slugs, including the purple ones, this little guy can go get you some. He can get you turbo motors. He can get you some real endgame material for no apparent reason. He can also get you some uranium waste, so... well, good luck with that. Yeah. And the best part, he follows you around everywhere. So I do recommend building him a little pen so he doesn't follow you around everywhere. And you'll always know exactly where you left him. Come on, guy. Let's go to the base. I like walking backwards so I can see him just run after me. Oh, he's so adorable. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. If you're wondering about this golden mug and everything, once you beat Phase 5 of the Space Elevator stuff, you too can have yourself a golden mug available in the Awesome Shop. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you like the stuff. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe as a way of saying thank you for all the wonderful tips. And I will be making one for advanced players as well, with a bunch of different designs and whatnot. So, look forward to that one coming up, and I'll see you on the next one. Jeez, that's loud. Right, Lizard Doggo? Did you find anything yet? No? Let's keep going. Bye-bye! It's so cute when he runs.